Well, hello, and welcome to QuipCon. Thanks for stopping by to take a look at this reed oven that we're kind of right in the middle of reconditioning. We don't put the walls on, we don't put the ceiling on. Well, there's really no reason to do that. We go over all those parts, make sure they're in good shape, repaint them, whatever they need to be done to them, we do it. There's actually going to be pictures of those on our website, which is www.quipcon.com. So I urge you to go there, check out the still pictures of everything. But the most important thing is how well the oven works. And that's why we choose these particular parts, because, well, these are the works of the oven. These are the things that make it do what it's supposed to do. And if you have a problem with something, well, it's going to be in this part of it. So we put all this together so we can thoroughly check and recheck everything and make sure there's no problems. Mainly, truthfully, I'm going to be honest with you here, 90 to 95% of these ovens we put up. And by we, I mean me. So if there's a problem with it, I want to find it now. I want to fix it now. So when I go out to put this oven up, I don't have the problems out in the field. Well, if you're going to put this oven up yourself, you're going to benefit from that because, well, I don't want to hassle with it. I don't want you to hassle with it. It's a lot easier to fix a problem now. So we go over everything a bunch of times, make sure everything's fine. Now let me show you how well it works. A very simple oven. Once it's put up, there's not a whole lot to it. You'll have an electrician come in and he will hook in 110, 115, 120 volts, whatever you want to call it, into here. And they will hook a gas line into here. See, I have my little rig hooked up here, but that's all temporary stuff. This is where it starts, right here. And they'll run a gas line from here out to the main. And this is the igniter here, the burn control and the igniter. This checks to make sure the pilot stays lit. This lights the pilot. Now this is all normally mounted on the side of the oven. I'm sure you kind of figured that out. It's not all just hanging here, but since we don't have the sides on, we don't have anywhere to mount it. So we just have it hanging, and when you put it up, well, it all screws to the side. Now this right here is the igniter and the flame sensor and the pilot. So I'm going to plug it in. Now I just have a regular plug on it. Like I said, your electrician's going to hardwire it, but this is just for testing. We plug it in. Power comes on the burner control. You can see it's thinking. It's doing a little bit of flashing. Pretty soon it's going to light up the light that tells you, this is very exciting for me. There we go. Pilot's lighting and the pilot is lit. Now all the lights are on that are supposed to be on, so we're cool there, no problems. This is the wiring for the motor itself. It's a reversible motor, so we have 4 wires on here. I got a little note down here. It says switch red wires to change direction. So we tend to do that so that if somebody does put these ovens up and the switch works in the wrong direction because they wired it incorrectly, well, they know they just have to switch these red wires. Now this is the motor. This is what drives it. It's a reversible motor, like I said, so the shelves will go up and down. This right here is the speed reducer. The motor turns that, turns the chain, and turns the gear. This ladder chain right here, that turns the indicator so you can see what shelf that you're on. All right, I'm going to turn it on now. We have the light. Let's check the light first. There we go. We turn the light on. The light's working. Now this light normally is going to be mounted in the side of the oven like this. And we're going to turn the heat on. And now when we do, this is going to go through a self-test. And we come on. Now, I have it set for 100 degrees. I mean, I know that's pretty low, but since we don't have sides on here, well, it would take a little bit to get it up to 400 degrees. So, but if it works at 100, it will work at 400. You can see where temperature's going up. I have my temperature probe right here on the shelf, hanging right over the flame, so that's why it's going up so fast. But we're at 100, and it clicks off. Now, in just a short time, I'm going to pull the probe away so that later, when I run the shelf to show you how that works, I don't have that stuck in the shelf. Now, this probe normally mounts through the wall, and it will hang just about right here. Set that off to the side. And our temperature should drop fairly soon. We're down to 97. As soon as we get back down, probably in the 95 range, it's going to come back on again. While we're waiting for that, oh, there we go. We're back on. It came back on right at 95. Now we pulled our probe away, so it's not going to shut off again, but I'm going to show you a few things in here. This is the reversing switch. We don't have a cover on there, but that's what makes the motor reverse. This is the control panel for the motor. No cover on that right now. There will be. Timer is in here, and this is the back of the thermostat. Turn the timer on. You heard the little chirp. That was what the timer will sound like when it goes off. When you run it down, you hear it. That will get your attention. And basically the only thing left to go over is the rack, so we can run that. Now this is, I said, a bidirectional up-down, forward, backwards rack, whatever you want to call it. So if you miss the rack, you don't stop it in time, great thing. You don't have to go all the way around. You can turn it and go in the other direction. So here, let me click it down. See, it's heading off in that direction. It's going down. Now on each one of the legs of the spiders, we're going to have a rack. There's going to be one there. There's going to be one there, one there, and one there. But we just put one on to test it. You're also going to have a set of rings that go back behind here that keep the rack in place. Now, let me stop the rack, turn it in the opposite direction. Now, if you have any questions on this oven, about the gas or the voltage or BTUs, whatever it might be, you can call one of our salespeople. Phone number is 636-583-8200, and they'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. And don't forget, go to our website, www.quipcon.com. You can check out the pictures of all the panels, the rest of the racks. Everything that's not here will be on there. And there'll probably be some that is here on there also. Now on these shaft, there's little keys that go in here. You see we don't have those in there either. But that's what keeps everything all lined up and keeps it moving correctly. We just put a couple bolts in here to hold it in place. Put the keys in there and that lines everything up. Don't know if our shelf is perfectly aligned or not, but I just wanted to mention that so that if you notice that the shelf is a little bit out of alignment, that's because we don't have our keys in. They say we just set this up temporarily. All right, any questions? Give them a call, 636-583-8200.